Chip, come on, bud. Chip. He's a little toe rag. He's a rascal. Right, are we up? Are we going to have good connectivity today? Let's find out. Let's find out. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Depending on when you're watching, thank you for tuning in. You're watching Crighton Pet Services Virtual Dog Walk, and I'm Stephen Crighton, and you join me on Monday the 30th of June, halfway through the year. Wow, how has that happened? And I'm out on a walk with my little team. Chip is actually still back there. Chip! Let's just see if he comes just now. Otherwise we're going back for him and popping him on the lead. Here he comes, watch this. There he is. It's really hard to do that actually. It's really hard to like point when the camera's flipped. So good morning, welcome along. If you're watching this as a video on my channel because you've subscribed, thank you very much. Hope you've had a great weekend. And we're in for a tricky day. We've actually already had a tricky day so far, which I'll talk about in a moment or two. But the reason we're in for a tricky day is because it's the beginning of the kids' holidays here in Scotland, and the first of 6 weeks of having to put up with our space being overtaken by little rascals, by little munchkins, by grandparents, by people who have effectively never seen a group of dogs together in this capacity before. So it's challenging and it's interesting, and I'm the type of person that is very analytical and very critical of what we do, and also about what we do. So it's quite interesting to watch how the dogs cope with the certain challenges that we have, and we reflect back on those kind of interactions over the course of the summer. And hopefully by the end of the time they'll all be slightly more adjusted to life than they were before we began. But they're certainly challenging things, and I'll tell you three things that have happened to us so far today. So first off, this is something that is potentially going to affect us. Right up ahead here, in the middle of this field where my fingers, I'll move out the way so it comes back into focus. You can maybe see a little dot there. There's a family of 3, and they have a kite, probably the same wingspan as my arms. So that's going to be problematic for us for sure. That is a definite issue. And the thing is, I mean, why would you try and fly a kite on a day like today? There's not that much in terms of wind, and hence the kite not being up in the air, I suppose, but we'll maybe come on to that. So that's one of the 3 things that I've got my eye on. A couple of others. We've had, I'm just going to show you the terrain here. So if you're from the UK, you're probably well familiar with these things. Stinging nettles, jaggy nettles as they're called in Scotland. And when we arrived on our session, we just got out of the van, and there was a kid with mum. Mum also had like basically a babe in arm, you know, like a few month old, and the kid had fallen into the nettles. Look at this. This is like waist height on me, just above waist height, and look how many nettles there are here. These are all stinging nettles all the way back to that tree. And it was an area like that, and she's fallen into, the kid, the boy has fallen into that, and he is squealing. And we're on a very narrow space. Stanley, this way, buddy. Good boy. Actually, it is a little bit breezier here than it has been. Good boy. Good boy. Maybe it is quite a good day to fly a kite, and the kite is up. Maybe you can see it, maybe not, but we're going to avoid it anyway. These dogs, a few of them are what you would call bird dogs, and so birds in the sky or birds on the ground are going to be very interesting to the pack, and they will not be able to tell the difference between a kite and a bird. So yeah, so the poor kid had fallen bum first into the stinging nails, so that wasn't great. Good morning. Morning. How are we doing? Fine. Good? Yeah, good, thank you, good. So, I should have 8. I can only count 7 just now. There's one hiding in the grass. Alfie, come! That's number 7. There's number 8. Yeah, there we go. And forgot to probably add. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm going to go this side of you, sorry. There we go. And then the other thing that we had to encounter this morning was a grandparent walking an XL bully. An elderly gentleman that would definitely be pulled over by the... Alfie, come! No, you come out the way, bud. Come here, buddy. This young man has kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know where he's came from. We'll just keep out of his way, won't we? Eh? Won't we? So yeah, so an XL bully. And this was just after the young kid had fallen into the stinging nettles and jagged all his backside. And he's squealing. And I said to them, I'm really sorry. We don't want to add to your frustration. Can we just squeeze past? And she was like, yeah. Through you come. I said, I think she was Australian or maybe a Kiwi. And I was like, there's some docking leaves here that will help take the sting away. And she's like, oh, I know, but he won't want to. I was like, oh well. So I remember as a kid not having a choice about that. If you stung yourself, you were rubbed down with a docking leaf, and that was the end of it. But anyway, so then they crossed the XL bully, and we just pulled up to the side, and everybody, the dog passed. These guys were very quiet. It was quite interesting. And now, of course, you saw there a little swarm of tourists passing us. So it's these coming 6 weeks are going to be very different to the previous 6 weeks that we've just had. I think we're in for a tricky time, and it's fine. You know, everybody that we just saw there, they like dogs and they've handled it well and stuff like that. Not everyone's going to be like that. We're going to have some challenging times ahead, and people who are like, I do not include myself in this category at all, but there will be a lot of people who are incredibly entitled and think that just because they've taken time off that they should be the only ones here. And we will do our best to keep out of everyone's way. Like, the last thing I want is any conflict, any kind of interaction with the public that's negative. But some people wake up, have a bad day, decide that's it. The next person we see is going to get it, and then that could be me or the dogs. So we don't want that. We're going to actually go into these. There's a woman up here. She's got the other end of the kite. So they've kind of, from us trying to navigate around them, they've came right into our path. So a good example of being able to think on our feet here and just change direction and get them to come. Alfie, come. Juno, come. Good puppies. Come on, Barney. Come on, buddy. And we'll just wait for B. He doesn't get lost. Good, you guys. Good pups. Good pups. So yeah, so it's challenging. We've definitely got a challenging couple of sessions ahead of us, but usually, in my experience, the first couple of weeks of the kids' holidays are by far the most challenging. That's actually quite a big step, Chip. Can you make... Oh, Chip. You flew up it, bud. Chip's a dachshund. He's only got little legs. Let me show you. That was a big step for me. And he managed to just fly up that without any bother. So yeah, so could be interesting, could be exciting, could be frustrating. Definitely going to be challenging. And on top of that, the heat. Let's talk about the heat. So here just now, I checked my phone just before we started. Sometimes my watch is connected to the temperature connects, and sometimes it doesn't. It's not the temp right now. But before we started, it was 19 degrees. which we've coped with that kind of temperature all the way throughout May and most of June. We've had a couple of cooler days in June, but we've had mostly the 20s most days in June. So we're kind of fine, but I know that lots of the UK are to get quite significant heat in the next week or so, in the 30s. And that would be a game changer for us. We couldn't cope in that kind of temperature, I don't think. It might depend on what kind of heat it is. If it's a dry heat, it might be a bit easier. If it's like it is today, it's very muggy, it's very sticky, hot, kind of jungle weather, rainforest weather, where it feels like it's just going to downpour at any moment. That's kind of how we feel today. And not that I've been in too many jungles or rainforests, mind you, but that's the impression I get, is that it's just a sticky hot heat that is probably a moment away from thunder and lightning. That's kind of what we have. And it's it's not ideal, but at the moment it's manageable. And what we're doing, as you can probably tell if you've been with us for a few minutes now, is we're just taking it very easy. We move as a group, we kind of go at the slowest dog's pace, and we work together so that we don't hey buddy, thank you for the lick. Edith, we're gonna go this way, sweetie. Come on. Good Barney. Hey Juno. Hey Alfie. Hello puppies. Hello. That's a sneaky shortcut, you two. That's very sneaky. Look how proud he is. Tail straight up. So happy with himself that he's taking a little shortcut there. So yeah, so if we get excruciating heat like we've had, then we're gonna, or like his forecast I should say, then we're going to address that with the clients as we go. But to be fair, in the shade here we have great access to sort of natural environment, and in the mornings the grass can still be, even although it can be very hot, this longer grass, which is let's go into it just now. This stuff here, I'll show you what kind of height. So I'm going to put the phone to my sort of belly button. Hang on, you might not be able to hear me as well. So yeah, we're in good belly button height territory here, and down below on the actual ground itself, this will be quite damp. The top of the grass will be so dry. It's very, very dry. In fact, there's a bit of moisture in that, but it's quite dry, to be fair. But the ground is cool and damp, and so all of their organs are on their bellies, on their underside, and so all they need to do, if they're feeling a bit hot, is just go into that longer grass and lie down, and they know that they'll get a little opportunity to cool off if they need to. But no one's doing that just now, so I don't think we need it, which is good and convenient. Alfie is way over my shoulder. In fact, he's not even in shot, he's just there. Let's see if we can get him. Hang on. Alfie, come! Alfie, come on. Well, he was just doing a quick pee. Here he comes. You see the little dot? Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Good puppy. Yeah. Oh, Chipperoo. Chipperoo took your biscuit, bud. Chipperoo took your bicky. I know. Hey, that was a bit greedy, buddy. This is for Juno. Sit nice. Sit nice. Sit nice. Juno. Good girl. You don't get anything for barking. No, you do not. No, you do not. Well done, guys. Keep coming. You know why you're not getting one. We'll feed the team once we get up to 10 likes. You can all get a shot of him handing out a biscuit once we get to 10. Yeah, the language is quite good. We'll cut across this grass just now rather than going. We could go path here and back up here, but we're going to cut across, and this will also just give us a chance. This is like sort of shin high grass, so their bellies will be getting nice and cool just by the art of walking across. You just got to watch out for grass seeds, and especially with the smaller dogs like Chip and Barney. Keep coming, gang! And Edith has actually decided I don't want to go through it. Sometimes the grass can be a bit prickly on their paws and things like that, especially when it's dry. It can be a little bit sharp, but this is a good specific way to cool them off without having to actually do anything different other than just take a different path. And we've lost Alfie. Oh no, where's he gone? Here he comes. Can you see him? Like a little dolphin popping in and out the water there. Good boy. Is that good? When we actually, on cooler days, we'll actually run through that long grass. Like I'll run with them. Maybe not on stream, I'll be puffing and panting like there's nobody's business. But with them, when it's cooler, we do that, and it's one of the most motivating things that we can do with the team. They all, I've yet to find a dog that doesn't love it, and especially that kind of salmon-y, dolphin-like maneuver of like bounding through it like little lambs. Like little lambs. I've got a couple of dogs up ahead that I don't know, so we're just going to pop Stanley boy on the lead here. Stanley! Sorry if this is a bit there we go. Good boy. He's not a bad dog at all, but he's just he's not sure about bigger dogs, which is what we have. We've got at least a lab up ahead, maybe a Tibetan Terrier and a cockapoo. We'll go say hi, guys. We'll go say hi. Morning. How you doing? Aye, not bad. Not bad. My the one that I've got on the lead, he's a wee bit unsure about bigger dogs, so but the rest are fine. No, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. I'll keep him out the way. Yeah, that's it. Well, you just built up a nice audience, and then the connectivity problem started again. Yeah, we've dropped all off again. Brilliant. Let's start all over again. Let's start all over again. And they missed the best bit. You guys have been interacting with those other puppies. I know. If you are still with us, and you've been with us for a few minutes, just above these trees here, you maybe see it coming out of focus. See it there? That's the kite that we had earlier on. We were trying to avoid earlier. And I said, it's not windy enough, not nearly windy enough to fly a kite, and they've got it soaring there. I don't know if you guys can see, it's just that little black speck there. Can't actually zoom in on my phone on the live stream, but trust me, it's making a heck of a din, a racket, you know, the kind of plastic bag blown in a wind, sort of like that noise. So the dogs might become a bit interested about it, but we'll maybe try just not go back that way. I think we'll be able to avoid that. Deva, how are we doing? How are we doing? Yeah, the gang are good, bud. How are you? We've not spoken in a while. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. The team are good, the buddies are all good. Everybody's in good spirits this morning. Mondays can be funny. So I get the dogs all week, you know, or combinations of the dogs all week, and then the weekend they're with their owners, and everybody has different routines, you know. Everybody does something slightly different. Whereas during the week, it's very regimented with what they do with us. So Mondays can be a hit or miss. Sometimes the dogs have been worked really hard and they're kind of knackered and they're coming to the pack for a bit of a break. And sometimes they're full of beans because maybe they've not had as much opportunity to get out with their owners as maybe they would with me. So it's always a mixed bag, but usually by this point of the walk we're about halfway through our session, and usually they're all sort of tapered off, a bit calmer, and yeah, a bit happier. Sometimes in the van they can be frustrated as anything on a Monday, just desperate to get out, even when we're still collecting the dogs, you know. Go to someone's house, pick up one of the dogs, they know that we're at their house because we do it all the time, and and yet they're still like, let me out, let me out. But it's but yeah, they're in good spirits today, and a good wee combo as well, which is nice. Actually, on that point, we've got River, who is my newest client, my newest puppy. We've got some space this week because Harris is away on holiday, so River's actually going to be out with us Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I think, which is lovely. So if you want to see how a new puppy gets on with the team, first of all you can go back and have a look at Friday's live stream. That was his first session. But also we'll be back again tomorrow with River, and he'll be meeting a different combination of dogs, and we'll probably be going to a different location. We might even come back here maybe, because I don't think he's been here yet. But we'll take him somewhere that he's not been, and we'll put him through the paces, and I'm sure some of these guys will get stuck into him in a good way, of course, just to find out what kind of dog he is. The thing is, it works because they can all trust each other, right? So they need to test a new dog to see if they can be trusted. So sometimes they'll test them by play, sometimes they'll test them by trying to get them to run and scamper around. Sometimes they'll test them by posturing and body language, and often what can happen is a new dog that comes in, especially a puppy, they can be really happy and excitable and just quite keen to please everybody, and so they end up submitting and conceding to everybody, and then everyone says, okay, you're fine, you passed the test. And that's really the beauty of it, I suppose. I've just got a little bit of work to do. It doesn't involve the camera. Sorry guys, Stanley here's gone to the lake. Duty calls. Sorry for the rustling. I'll not show you what I'm doing. It's not for the faint-hearted. Keep coming, Alfie. Keep coming, guys. You right there, Barney? You cooling off those organs? Good pup. Good pup. So yeah, so definitely, if you haven't done it already, come and join us for tomorrow's session. It's I know what I mean by that is obviously you can't join us for tomorrow's session yet, but hit that subscribe button so you can continue to join us and join us on that session, because a new puppy joining us is so rare. I mean, I think the last time I had a new pup was Otis. I think he was our new puppy. We've had newer dogs join, but in terms of puppy, the last dog that we had to join us was Otis, who'll be out with us tomorrow, and he's now 4-year-old. So so yeah, so it's been a while. So it's quite a nice stage of their kind of development and understanding is when a puppy comes along, because these guys all go into different mode as well. They'll all change the way that they are when a puppy's around as well. They'll probably become a bit more playful. Some of them are very protective and very sort of mothering or fathering of any pups. That was definitely the case on Friday when we had Mac out, the black Tibetan Terrier. He was probably not on camera at all, and let's just say for argument's sake that Nell here is River. So on Friday, River's by my feet the whole time. He doesn't want to leave my side. He's here. Mac is just behind him and just always making sure that he doesn't get left behind. So Mac positions himself at the back of the pack and just keeps ushering everybody along. Keep coming, guys, keep coming, keep coming. And if anyone stopped, he also stopped and just waited. and you can't really, I couldn't teach Mac to do that. You know, that's not something within my skill set or my range to be able to say, hey, whenever someone's at the back, you come to the back. You know, that's something that's just almost not impossible to teach, but that's a difficult thing to teach for a pet that I have a couple of times a week. And so that's instinct, and we like to harbour those instincts and just keep them going, especially when they're for the good of the pack, because that is something that's really quite special. So yeah, so don't miss out. Don't miss out on the pups. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back on your screen tomorrow around about the same time, about 11 o'clock. But for the time being, Edith's gone off into the thicket here where we're just about to go. We're going to go round into the side. But I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say goodbye, because I know that in a moment, in literally 30 seconds, we just lose connectivity altogether. So apologies for that, for cutting it a little bit short. From me and the team, minus Edith, we will see you on our next session, which will be tomorrow. So make sure you hit the, here she comes. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Give us a little like in the next 10 seconds if you can. And for every 10 likes that we do, we'll give the dogs some biscuits. We'll get them fed on camera. Didn't quite hit the target today, unfortunate, but we will do it tomorrow if we can hit that. But I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you for all the kind words and shares and messages and stuff, and especially over the weekend. Rafe, I think I have to, if you're still watching this at this point, Rafe, I think I have to reply to 2 of your messages now, but I've got them there with a red notification to tell me to get into them, so don't think I've missed it, mate. I'll get to them soon, I promise. Promise. Right, from me and the team, we're going to bow out. Have a great Monday. Have a great end of June. We'll see you in July. Take care. Bye-bye.